Dear all, let us talk about the methods which are being used for determination of surface and interfacial tension. There are around 8 methods which have been reported, out of which 4 methods are there which are generally used. Few are simple methods, and in few methods we require some sophisticated instrument or equipment. So today we'll be talking about those methods. So in our previous lecture, we spoke regarding surface free energy. We have seen how we can define surface tension in terms of surface free energy. I hope the concept related to surface free energy must be clear to everyone. Now let us move on to talk about the methods which are being used for measuring surface tension and interfacial tension. As I said earlier, there are around 8 methods which have been reported into the literature. Out of those 8, these 4 methods are commonly used. In few methods, we don't require very sophisticated instrument, or it is not a sophisticated technique as such, like drop formation method. We just require a stalagmometer, and it is said to be the lab technique for determination of surface as well as interfacial tension. Capillary rise method is also the simple method which can be used at the lab scale. Just for determination of height, here we require traveling microscope. In ring detachment or Denoyer ring tensiometer method, we used this instrument which is known as Denoyer ring tensiometer. And fourth method which is being used for determination of this property is bubble pressure method. Now, which method is to be used? It depends upon 3 important criteria. Whether you are interested in determining only surface tension or interfacial tension. On the basis of that, the choice of the method is being done. Even the accuracy which you are interested in achieving, that will decide which method to go with. And third important thing to be considered before making a choice for the method of determination of ST or IT is the sample size which is available, or the amount of the sample which is available for determination of ST or IT. So let us talk about the first method, that is capillary rise method. We know that when capillary tube is being placed in liquid, liquid will rise up in the tube, and it rises up to a certain distance only. Now, if we look at the molecular level, why does liquid rises into the capillary tube? It happens because of the adhesive forces of attraction, which molecules of liquid develops with the molecules of the wall of that particular material of which capillary is being made up of. And it rises up to certain distance because its weight is being pulled down by the gravitational force, and this is the way by which we can determine the surface tension of the liquid. So how much rise is there of a liquid into the given capillary tube? By measuring this rise, it is possible to determine the surface tension. So the height up to which liquid rises into the capillary has a direct connection with the surface tension of the liquid. which is under study. However, the drawback of this method is that capillary rise method cannot be used for determination of interfacial tension. So it is solely a method for determination of surface tension. We know that because of the force of adhesion, if it is greater than the cohesion forces, forces of adhesions are nothing but it is the forces of attraction that develops between unlike molecules. And if it is greater as compared to the forces of attraction between the like molecules, then and then only liquid will said to wet the capillary wall, will rise into it, spreading over it. So we want to understand what is that upward force which is leading to rising of the liquid into the capillary tube, and what is that downward force which is not allowing the liquid to rise above certain level. And when we will understand these two, then we will be able to come up with the equation which will be used for determination of surface tension. So let us see what is that upward force and downward force which leads to the equilibrium. Now, as we have previously discussed, the definition of surface tension, it is nothing but it is the force which we need to apply parallel to the surface of the liquid to counterbalance the net inward pull. So in other words, we can say that surface tension is the force per unit length which is acting at the tangent to the meniscus surface. Now, I hope you must be knowing this sine, cos, and tan. This is being shown in the diagram over here. You are seeing the capillary tube, and when liquid rises up, the angle between the tangent and the tube wall is considered to be theta. See, liquid has risen up into the capillary tube, and this liquid meniscus is making some angle with the surface or wall of the capillary. If this angle between the tangent which is being drawn and the tube wall, if it is being considered as theta, the vertical component, because liquid is being rising up into the capillary, so we need to understand and talk about the vertical component of the surface tension, that is gamma. Now vertical component of the surface tension over here will be gamma cos theta. The total surface tension along the circular contact line of meniscus is 2 pi r times. Why 2 pi r times? Because 2 pi r is nothing but it is the circumference of a capillary. So how much is the surface tension which is acting onto the surface of a liquid when it is rising up is 2 pi r times. So we get upward force acting onto the liquid when it rises up into the capillary is given by equation 2 pi r times of surface tension cos theta. Cos theta is the vertical component which is acting onto the liquid when it is rising up into the capillary, and 2 pi r is the circular contact which liquid is making with the capillary tube. So 2 pi r times of the surface tension into cos theta is the upward force which is working onto the liquid. Now for most of the liquid, this theta is essentially 0, and total component, that is cos theta, happens to be 1. When we put this value of cos theta is equal to 1, we get total upward force, that is 2 pi r gamma, that is 2 pi r times of the surface tension. Now this is upward force which is pulling liquid up into the capillary tube. But this force is being counterbalanced by the downward force. Upward force, it is being counterbalanced by the downward force, and because of which liquid rises up into the capillary tube up to certain extent only. So what is that downward force which acts onto the liquid, which is rising up into the capillary tube? This downward force is due to the weight of that liquid column, which has rise up into the capillary tube. Now here in this particular diagram, first diagram, you are finding that liquid column has risen up into the capillary tube and has made a column of height h from the surface of the liquid. So why it has risen up to that particular height only? It depends upon the downward force which is acting onto the liquid column. And what is the value of that downward force? It is being given by mass into gravity. How much is the mass of the liquid that has rose into the capillary tube, and the gravitational force which is acting onto it, that is being given this mass into gravity, that is mg, and this m is being given by the equation, that is surface area of a capillary tube multiplied by the height of the column from the surface of the liquid multiplied by the difference into the density of a liquid and liquid vapor above the liquid column. That is the value of mass which has risen up into the capillary tube, and whole is being multiplied by gravity gives us the total downward force. So we get downward force will be equal to pi r square. Pi r square is nothing but it is the surface area of capillary through which liquid is rising up. H is the height up to which liquid column has rose above the liquid surface. D is the density So total downward force comes to equal to pi r square h dg, where d is the density of the liquid, and at equilibrium, when liquid has risen up to certain extent, say for example height h, you find that now liquid is not rising into the capillary tube above this height. Here you have reached to an equilibrium. So at equilibrium, we find that upward force has become equal to downward force. If we put the values of upward force and downward force into the equation, we get 2 pi r gamma is equal to pi r square h dg. And when we simplify it for calculation of surface tension, we come up with an equation, that is surface tension is equal to HRdG upon 2, where your pi and r, 1r is being nullified or cancelled with another pi and r. So simple final equation which we get when we want to determine surface tension is equal to HR dG upon 2. So out of this, the values which we want to know is height up to which the liquid has risen up into the capillary tube, that can be determined with the help of traveling microscope. Density of a liquid can be determined with a pycnometer. R is the radius of the capillary which you are using for capillary rise method, and G is nothing but it is the acceleration due to gravity. So by knowing these terms or values of this height, density, radius of a capillary, and gravitational force, if we put this into equation, we can simply determine the surface tension of a given liquid. So in this particular method, the only equipment which is required is traveling microscope. The rest of the things are very simple and can be easily determined, and putting the values into the equation, we can determine the surface tension in a simplest manner. Is that clear?